Hello everyone. Today I am here to present a seminar on analysis of airless tire, which has been guided by Professor G.B. Fattare ma'am and presented by me, Tanmay Avan. Going through the contents of the seminar, first we will have the introduction followed by the seminar objective and understanding the problem. Then we will have a quick overview of the pneumatic tires. Then we will come to our point of airless tires followed by its parts, manufacturing of polyurethane spokes, static as well as thermal analysis, and its advantages, disadvantages, applications, and the result of the seminar. Introducing to the topic, firstly we will go through the invention of the first car, which was made by Mercedes-Benz in 1886. And with development of the car, the tire industry also developed. With in 1888, the car was fitted with metal tires covered with air-filled rubber. This was the beginning of pneumatic tires, but as time progressed, the tire industry also progressed, with treads on the tire in 1905, synthetic rubber in 1931, tubeless tire in 1947, and radial tire in the 1950s. But as beneficial it seems to be, the pneumatic tires does come with its own set of problems, chief of them being the tire blowouts due to heat, wear, and infringement of foreign particles. To counter such disadvantages, the pneumatic tires was replaced with airless tires by French tire giant Michelin. The objective of the seminar uh, concern is to carry out the entire analysis of airless tire, be it in terms of static or thermal analysis, and it also has a primary concern of implementing the airless tire for domestic vehicle applications. Understanding the problems with airless tire, which firstly has to deal with the rough ride which it provides. Apart from the rough ride, it also has a heat dissipation problem, which is a prime concern if it is going to be implemented in the domestic field. And the airless tire is somewhat heavy than the pneumatic tires, which drastically affects the vehicle's fuel economy. This is the abstract of the topic, which briefly describes the entire seminar. The overview of the seminar is the problems faced with airless tires in domestic vehicle market and the analysis of it for static and thermal. And the seminar also provides insights to the advantages of airless tire and its current applications. The quick overview of pneumatic tires mainly comprises of the basic design of the pneumatic tires, which is very much similar and known. It holds pressurized air and it's covered with layers of rubber. The main reason of using pneumatic tires in vehicles is because of its deformation property, and which occurs during rotations. It also gives better traction and also has a better cushioning effect than compared to the airless tire. But the pneumatic tires has its disadvantages as mentioned before, which has a tendency to cause severe accidents, and the task of regulating tire pressure is also a tedious job, which is not always possible for every customer to look for. So this disadvantages has caused the tire industry to take interest in the designing of airless tire. The airless tire is the one shown in the diagram, which has the hub, which is a metal hub that supports the entire structure, along with the polyurethane spokes, which supports the shear band and the tread band, which is the outer ring of the tire. These are the main parts of the airless tire. The airless tire is mainly the airless tire has mainly the designing concerns with the polyurethane spokes, which we will look on further. After that, we will go with the parts of airless tire. Firstly, the hub, which is made of steel or aluminum alloy. The average weight of the steel alloy which is used is approximately around 4 kgs, while the aluminum alloy weighs around 2.5 kgs. It is a rigid structure and cannot be deformed while running. It is formed by casting process. The polyurethane spokes, which are used in the airless tires, serve as a function of air in the pneumatic tires. It has the capacity to take heavy loads and and can deform its shape temporarily and regain it again. The main design of the polyurethane spokes are wedge-shaped or honeycomb structure. As we can see in the below diagram, the honeycomb structure is on the left while the wedge-shaped structure is on the right. The shear band which is there in the airless tire, it is between the polyurethane spokes and the tread band. The shear band consists of a steel wire wound in circular shapes. It gives reinforcement to the tread band from shearing all while running. The tread band is as similar as it is found in the pneumatic tires. It is the outermost portion of the tire which comes in contact with the road. It contains a rubber grip which is used to have grip on the roads and over other terrains. The design of the treads depends upon the terrain on which the vehicle is being used. It is manufactured by the regular extrusion process. After that, coming to the polyurethane, the manufacturing of polyurethane. The polyurethane mainly consists of polyols, which is mainly polyesters or polyethers, and the second component is diisocyanate, which mainly comprises of toluene diisocyanate or methylene diphenyl diisocyanate, which is mentioned in the diagram with its abbreviation of TDI and MDI. The mixture of polyols and diisocyanates in the ratio of 60% to 30% forms the prepolymer, which is held at 70 degrees Celsius. With the mixture of this, the mixture also comprises of a curative called as butadiene, which is held at 40 degrees Celsius. With a proportion of 10%, the entire mixture then forms the polyurethane, which has been created for the airless tire, for the spokes of the airless tire. Moving on further to the static analysis of the airless tire, the polyurethane spokes are the prime structure to focus when designing the airless tire. After many structures of polyurethane spokes, the wedge-shaped structure has proven not to be much convenient as compared to the honeycomb structure, as scientists have developed the cellular designing and has proved that the honeycomb structure is convenient of them all. Despite its convenience, honeycomb structure comprises of its own types. The action of forces on the structures differs from one another. The type A, B, C of the tires which are mentioned above are regular honeycomb structures, while the type D, E, F mentioned in the diagram below are auxetic honeycomb structures. Auxetic honeycomb structures, as the name says it all, auxetic honeycomb structures are structures of honeycomb cells which increase in size gradually without any cell division. For the 6 cellular spoke designs, they are loaded with a magnitude of vertical displacement of 20 mm for each type, and the displacement graphs are analyzed. As we can see, the type A of the honeycomb structure is on the left graph with a blue line. The type B is with the red line and the type C is with the green, while the auxetic honeycomb structures are mentioned on the graph on the right, with the type D with the lavender line, type E with the blue line, and type F with the orange line. Moving on further with the explanations, the deformations of the shapes are as follows, with its names mentioned. For the vertical displacement of 20 mm applied. So the graphs tell us all that the local stresses in the honeycomb spokes are investigated, and all the spokes are designed to have the same loading capability. Due to the non-linear load carrying behavior as a function of vertical displacement, load at certain vertical displacement can be used as a reference value. Force deflection curves of the non-pneumatic tires with the honeycomb spokes have negative cell angles, and the deformations are investigated for the analysis. The maximum the type D of the honeycomb spokes, which is an auxetic honeycomb structure, has a cell wall thickness of 4.85 mm associated with the reference load carrying capability for the analysis. The similar microscopic force deflection behavior is seen in the type A spokes. So therefore the type A and the type D spokes in the radial and circumference are similar. The maximum local stress levels of the type D spokes are also almost the same as those of the type A spokes, but the lower geometric effect is observed with the type E spokes, which have a cell wall thickness of 6.74 mm for a displacement of 20 mm, which are lower than the type D spokes. The auxetic honeycomb spokes require more mass to meet the reference load carrying capacity. For example, the type D and the type E spokes have 15% and 80% increased mass. Type F spokes have higher thickness, cell wall thickness, resulting in the increase in the mass to meet the reference load carrying capacity, which is an increase of 23.5% of the type A spokes. The type F spokes having a thickness of 10.2, the geometric nonlinear effect is rarely observed compared to the former honeycomb structures. This leads to the spokes having lower local stress values, which is good for fatigue resistance in the honeycomb spokes. The honeycomb spokes with a high cell magnitude show low local stress. This is good for fatigue resistant spoke design. The honeycomb spokes of the type C and F are good for fatigue resistance. But when we consider it in the terms of lower mass designs, the type C spokes are much more better than the type F spokes, as it has good fatigue resistance as well as lower mass of design. Therefore, the type C spokes are considered as convenient from the analysis. As we can see in the diagram, the upper right corner, the type C is the honeycomb structure that is preferred for the tire. Moving on further to the thermal analysis of the tire, the air pressure which is present in the pneumatic tires is subject to extrinsic properties like temperature. The pressure inside the tube of the tire reaches 56 psi when running over for an hour on a normal highway in India. To simulate such dynamic environment, the spokes are under the subjugation of force, torque, and pressure. The material properties of polyurethane polymer used in the wheel, that is the tire and the combination of tire and wheel, is utilized in the static stress analysis on the wheel, which in turn will give us the thermal analysis so as to look if the tire performs well. The analysis has been carried out over a software and has proved that the material is structurally rigid and stable to withstand all simulated conditions and enough ductile to retreat to its original dimensions. As much study has not been carried out of the thermal analysis of the airless tire, such experiments are carried out on the small scale and are not yet implemented. Thus, ending with the analysis, we will move forward to the advantages of airless tires, which first would be, as it provides a comfortable ride and increases vehicle handling. Its flexibility provides an increase in surface area of the contact thereby and increases grip with the ground. It can take gunfires and spikes without becoming immobile. It reduces the downtime as compared to pneumatic tires, as it requires very little or no maintenance. The load carrying capacity of the vehicle increases. The environmental impacts of the chemicals content in the tire are reduced, as manufacturing of pneumatic tires are very less compared to traditional pneumatic tires. Moving on further to the disadvantages, the non-pneumatic tires are expensive as compared to pneumatic. It can withstand police spikes, which may make it difficult for law enforcement. The lack of adjustability is one disadvantage.